What's up, guys? Joe from the AZ Westside Wheelers here. Today we're going to check out a cheap Amazon option for airing up these big giant 40-inch tires. Stick around. Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to be checking out this Gobege 12-volt air compressor. This thing is a 6.35 CFM, which translates to a pretty high volume of air. It's supposed to be 150 PSI. They sent us this out to check out. It's about 16 pounds. It's really heavy duty. Comes with probably about a 20-foot cord and a little longer, maybe 24-foot air-up cord. It's got its own gauges. There's two different ways you can hook it up. The standard style that we've seen forever. You can also unscrew this and it screws directly onto your valve stem. There's some adapters to it for basketballs, airing up your air mattress. And it also comes with a very nice carrying case. It's not super heavy duty, but it seems pretty durable. Very nice case. Also, a filter. You're going to want to keep this clean to keep the life of this up high. When we're out airing up tires in the dirt, there's dust, people driving by you, that thing's gonna clog up. You're gonna wanna keep it clean. We're very interested in this because it supposedly does really well up to big pressure tires, 100 PSI tires. Well, we don't do 100 PSI, but we have a 40-inch by 13.5 tire on Monstro. This tire takes a lot to fill up. We're going to take it down to 12 PSI. Then we're going to raise it back up to about 34 PSI, which is what we normally drive on the highway. We'll see how long it takes to do that. And then we'll actually take it up to the max PSI of the tire just to kind of see what it takes time-wise. We might even slip over to my pickup, which is a 1-ton, and it has an 80 PSI rated tire, which is a lot higher rated tire. We'll try it on that one and see what kind of air pressure and what kind of time it takes to go from, say, 40 to 80 on that one. So stick around. We're going to check this thing out, hook it up, and see how it does. All right, guys. Now to hook these up, pretty simple. Black to negative, red to positive. You're going to want to make sure your compressor's off. And before you start airing your tire up and run this, you're going to want to turn your vehicle on, start it. It's going to put enough of a draw on your battery if you do all of your tires that it's probably going to kill your battery. If you're just doing one tire real quick, you might get away with it, but I wouldn't. I would leave my vehicle running. That way you don't have an issue with a dead battery because you were airing up a tire. So right here, this is a little bit of a different air chuck than what your standard air compressor fitting in your garage is going to be. From what I saw online, you can change this fitting out to a more standard one, but you just pull the collar back like a normal one, slips right on, and there you go. Bring it over and hook up to your tire. Again, two ways to hook up. You can thread this coupler on by itself or this one right here, whichever is easier for you. We're going to go ahead and thread this on. It's going to give us a little more room to see this gauge for the camera. Now, it's showing basically 0. So let me show you guys with my little tiny one. 12 PSI. This thing, it could use a better gauge. It's got way too big of a gauge. For only doing 150 PSI, should have a smaller gauge and you'd have a lot easier time reading the smaller numbers. But we'll hook this thing up. Now, don't forget to start your vehicle. It's going to get a little loud. We'll start the vehicle and the air compressor. And there we go. Now, we're just going to do a time lapse because with this running, the air compressor is actually pretty quiet, but the Jeep is super loud. We'll keep an eye on the gauge and see how long it takes to go from 12 to 34. So it's already up to 25. But the higher it starts going, the slower it'll go. I'm guessing it's going to take about 10 minutes. So I'm going to stop it. I think we're at 35. We're at 34, almost 35. We'll call that good. So 5 minutes, little over 20 PSI. Now, 20 psi in a tire, that sounds like nothing. But when you have this big of a tire, that's almost the equivalent of filling up all of your 33s. It's not it's not as much volume in those little 33s as in something this big. That's a really quick time. I'm curious to see, go to the max psi of the tire and see how long it takes to get to there. Woo! So it's hot, the air, the power is nice. The power feels great. This, on the other hand, you're going to want to be careful over there. Wow. Yeah, that bugger's hot. Let's hope it doesn't overheat. It's supposed to have sensors that'll shut it off. We'll see. We're going to test it. That's what they sent it to us for, to test out and see. We'll take this up to 50 psi and see how it does. That's another 15 psi in this monster tire. According to the gauge, a little over 9 minutes in, we're at almost 50, and it says we're at 44. Little more. So at 10:30, we're gonna stop it, check it. We're at 48 psi. I'm gonna call it there because this thing is hot. Really scorching hot. It has not shut down yet. It has a temperature sensitive shutdown on it, but I don't want to run this thing till it shuts down. That's a lot of air. I mean, I'm guessing you guys could fill up all of your tires with what I just did with this big 40-inch tire. That's not bad. And it did it quick. In 10 minutes, you can be aired up and done with your buddies. Let me shut this off so I can talk a little better. So here we are at my 1-ton truck, 33-inch 10.5 tire, but it has a lot higher rating. We are sitting right at just a pinch above 50 psi. This will go all the way to 80. So we're going to go from 50 to 80 and test it out and see how it does. The last one on the Jeep got hot, really hot. We had to put a fan on it, let it cool down. It never shut off, but it got pretty hot after about 11 minutes of running. We put it to the test though. That was a lot of work. We'll see how it does with this one, how long it takes. Start the test. It jumps up quick because it's a smaller tire. The big test will be the top end. Started at 50, we're gonna go up to 80. It jumps up pretty quick in the beginning because it's not a huge tire. There's not a lot of volume, but the higher end of the PSI is where it's gonna struggle. Okay, it says we're about 5 minutes in and roughly about 70. We'll check it. Woo! Glad we checked it. 80. So that thing is way inaccurate. That was fast. 5 minutes. I mean, gosh. We're now at 80 psi from 50 to 80 in this tire. Now, 5 minutes. I didn't shut it off soon enough, but it was a little over 5 minutes for 30 psi in this. That's a really impressive air compressor. Now, the gauge, don't trust it. It's just kind of going to give you a roundabout idea. Now, I didn't check and see if I shut the air compressor off, if this may be regulated out. Let's try that. Air compressor's off, so it still says 74. But my gauge says 79. So it's about 5 pounds off. So be careful about that. So all in all, my thoughts on this, don't trust the gauge, but you know what? Every gauge is inaccurate. Find a gauge that you find to be accurate and trust that one and test others with it. Find out what it is. I found this one to be 5 psi off. If you know it's a little bit off, that's not a game changer. Pretty good gauge. So the price, it's going to be $169 plus tax. They sent us a coupon code. So everybody, all our subscribers and everybody gets a 10% off. So if you go to the video description on YouTube, scroll down, you're going to find the link for the Amazon, and that's going to give you the 10% code. We appreciate you guys checking this out and watching the video. Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think about this. Or is this stuff you guys want to see on the channel? You want to see more products like this? We got this product sent to us, and we don't mind checking out inexpensive Amazon options for stuff. This is comparable with the Smitty built. I feel it's probably as much volume or does just as well as anything in that range. So we appreciate you. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always,